big lower leg injury. He was, I guess, a star athlete in college. Everybody knows he's a sports center guy, but he's an athlete and had to deal with all this debilitating pain. And he's done a lot with Run Freely. I think it's runfreely.org. So he supports my stuff. I support his.
Something I thought was really cool that you did this year, and you know I have great admiration for your career, not only on the field, but off the field. When the Myles Garrett situation happened, everyone is tearing him down, and deservedly so, because what happened on the field was despicable. But you didn't take away from what he was doing off the field, and I thought that was cool how you supported him.
Yeah, you know, why would you? I mean, everything in society is about second chances and giving people second chances to grow and such, and I just think we forget that sometimes in the heat of the moment with something like a Myles Garrett thing, which, listen, he didn't kill anybody, he didn't hurt a woman, he didn't do any of these things that you hear about people doing off the field all the time, but the problem was, it's a division rivalry, it's a primetime game, everybody saw it, it's slow motion. There were people acting like they'd never seen somebody get hit with a helmet on the field before, like never in the history of football, and that's ridiculous. He did a bad thing, he deserved to be reprimanded, deserved to be punished, but if you take away a guy's lifeline to get his life back together, and by the way, Myles is an upstanding citizen, and that's why it was such an anomaly to me. I was like, what the hell happened? I mean, from what I know about Myles, who's involved in my Water Boys initiative, that's why I handed the keys to him, because he's a really good kid. But I think also what people don't understand is when you're in the heat of the moment, and it doesn't excuse this behavior on the football field, your manhood is on the line every play in front of millions of people. So you can black out sometimes, and that's obviously not acceptable, but it's a moment. It's not who he is, it's something he did, and he needs an opportunity to right that wrong. And part of it is going to be his work off the field.
Chris Long here with us on the Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. Carson Wentz, for all the injuries that team suffered this year, was outstanding. Nick Foles had the unfortunate injuries as well. How do you look at those two moving forward?
Well, I mean, quarterback's all about situation. I really think that there's very few quarterbacks who are so transcendent they can just plug and play anywhere. I mean, you look at Nick Foles. Nick Foles, you know, in St. Louis, people wanted to run him out of town when he played under Jeff Fisher, and I was there. And then when he was in Philly before that, he's setting records with Chip Kelly. And then he takes us on this brilliant Super Bowl run, and then he's in Jacksonville where it's kind of a you-know-what show. And, you know, he gets benched. It matters the situation you're in. So I would just hope that for Nick, a guy who's older, and I know what he can do, that he ends up in a situation that's conducive to him making plays. And then with Carson, I just think people get so out ahead of things. The guy has, an injury-riddled couple years in a young career, which a lot of it is bad luck. A lot of it is, an injury concern, a history. But when you try to play through injuries, they compound. And that's what he tried to do for that city, for that team. You know, he tried to come back to the knee thing too quick, hurt his back, which is directly has to do with that. And then, you had the concussion thing, which has nothing to do with an injury history. And you saw people jumping on that. And that pissed me off because Carson is a generational talent. He had a great year, even with, statistically. Everybody leans on statistics until it doesn't support their argument.
Watch the game. Have a feel for it. That guy's the leader in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. And late in the season, you're throwing to Greg Ward, you're throwing to Perkins, you're handing the ball off to Boston Scott. Are you kidding me?
I think Doug asked me to play wide receiver.
Are you kidding me, dude? Like, this guy is the future of that team. And another thing is the crowd that's like, we got to move on from Carson. He's injury prone or he's not as good as people. Move on to do what? You think guys like him grow on trees? What are you going to do? What you going to do? You going to crapshoot draft somebody?
But this is our society now. One play, you're a franchise quarterback. The next play, you're a bum.
You're a bum. And that's the thing I learned in sports media this fall is the wave we ride with quarterbacks and teams. But
especially quarterback.
I took it for granted, like being a player, because every week is different. But when you're analyzing, you see everybody every week. It's like, okay, now what's our indictment on this quarterback because of Sunday's game? And it's got to be like permanent and impactful. What I'm saying, really, just wait and see, dude. You just wait and see.
This game on Sunday, how do you break it down?
I think some of the biggest keys are obviously Kansas City stopping the run on that side of the ball, and then on the other side of the ball, it's going to be